Welcome back, everyone. It is Wednesday, the 18th of July, 2018. I had to take a little bit of time off. Last week, Nikolai, I think he got into a fight with something. It had him uh, somewhat messed up. He was not acting like himself. He wasn't eating for a little bit, and he's been limping, so I've been sort of keeping an eye out on him, not paying as much attention to what's going on outside. But everything's alive, everything's doing fine. Which brings us to today's video, something exciting that I found out there that since I hadn't been checking every day, I found that the small Scotch bonnet that I had has finally ripened. So today we are going to be giving one of these a try. Now I know what you're thinking. That's a tomato. It's not a tomato, I promise. When I bite into it, I will definitely show you the inside and show you that it is indeed not a tomato. But let's start by going out, taking a ganders at the plants that we've got going, and then we'll come back for the taste test. I've been really looking forward to this one. These are incredibly common in Caribbean dishes and Jamaican dishes, just around that whole area. That's as far as I know, that's where they originate, and I know that's where they're cultivated a lot. You can get them at the just not even farmers markets, just regular markets down there. They have bushels of these things apparently, and they're used in all sorts of stuff. If you've ever had Jamaican jerk or Caribbean jerk, it's the two main ingredients that drive that are allspice and these bad boys right here. So let's go take a look at the plant and then get right on back in here and give it a try. So I've got several of my Scotch bonnet plants in pretty good sized planters, but these are the ones that by far are producing the best. As you see, hanging down like Christmas lights just all over the place on this thing. These are going to start turning hopefully very soon. They've been growing pretty good size for some time now, and I am really looking forward to more of them. But for now, we've only got one or two ripe ones, so let us go give one of those a try. So yeah, just by looking at the plants, you can tell that they are Capsicum chinense, just by the way they grow multiple pods per joint, seeing a little Y, and you have 3 or 4 of them hanging out from each one. The heat rating on these, it varies a lot depending on which variety you have. This being the first time I've ever tried one, I don't know what variant this is. Most of the ones that I see are a little bit longer, almost closer to habanero size, but with a little bit of a different shape, which by the way, they get the name Scotch Bonnet because of how much they resemble the Scottish tam o' shanter hat. I believe that's how this is pronounced. I could be wrong. But I don't know what the heat on this one is going to be like. I'm prepared for the worst and expecting the best. They're clearly a relative of the habanero in size and shape of many of them as being so similar, but these are supposed to be sweeter and have a somewhat unique flavor, so we'll see. They go by a lot of different names. Bonnie Peppers was one of them, Caribbean Red, although it's not to be confused with the ones labeled Caribbean Red Habanero, which are just a red habanero. They're not the I guess copyrighted red Savina or trademarked, whatever you want to call it. It's called the Atarodo. I'm trying to remember. Ball of Fire in Africa, I think, or Guyana. It's Ball of Fire in Guyana. In the Maldives, it has a different name. No, my mind is drawing a blank. But it's got different names depending on where it is, but they're all basically the same. Of course, with every variety, there's going to be some differentiation from one to the next. And to show you the difference between this and the tomatoes I'm growing, I'm not growing any cherry tomatoes this year. I'm only growing these. So, tomato, not tomato. So, yeah, like I said, used in Caribbean jerk and a lot of other dishes down there. The guy who runs CaribbeanPot.com, his name is Chris. He calls them pure Caribbean sunshine man. So looking forward to giving this a try. Let us see how it tastes. Now again, this being the only one that I have ripened, I haven't been able to isolate any of them to get pure seeds. So I really want to save the seeds from this one, even though it's small. And if worse comes to worse, I can use them next year. But I do have others out there I'm more hopeful for. If I get a better looking pod, I'll save the seeds from those. And if I can actually get some isolated, I'll definitely save the seeds from those. But we'll see how this turns out. Very thick walled. Kind of similar to a habanero in flavor. Actually can't tell a whole lot of difference between this and a habanero. Maybe it's not fully ripe yet. I don't know. But yeah, the wall on this is quite thick. Much thicker than the habanero. I'll say that is a huge difference. The seed ball right up there at the top is kind of small. It's got a very Chinense-like heat. It starts out. It's kind of like boiling water. When you first put it on the stove, you can leave your hand in it for a long time, and then it slowly gets to a point where it's like terrible. This has to be on the lower end of the Scoville, probably closer to the 80,000. It's not terribly. Ooh, piece caught behind my lip there. It's not terribly hot at all. Good flavor though, really good flavor. Of course, now I'm smelling my hand. I just washed my hands really well, so they smell really a lot like detergent. This is incredibly similar to the habanero flavor, but definitely thicker, not quite as mind-numbing, not nearly as hot, so maybe even a little bit sweeter. It was definitely full of liquid, and that liquid was like kind of like biting into a bell more so than like the scorpion. When I've been into the scorpion, for all I know, that was like pure liquid fire in there, but this one was just a lot of flavor. Really good though. I like it. If you like habanero, you'll like these for sure. If you don't like habanero, maybe give them a try. It's a little bit different. Not much though. Very, very similar. At least this variety. I have to try other varieties to get a better idea of what we're looking at. But yeah, I mean, I'm sitting here with this at the ready, and I don't even think I'm going to need it. Heat's 5 out of 10, and I thought this was going to tip into the scales of the super hots. Looks like this one is not indeed going to, but these are going to be great for drying, and I will be making my own Caribbean jerk seasoning now that I've got some pretty good recipes. So heat, we'll say a 5 out of 10. Flavor, 9 out of 10. It's not perfect. It's not super duper sweet. It is very much like a habanero, so I wouldn't say I'm let down, because I do like the way habaneros taste, especially when you cook with them, and when you ferment them, they're incredible, because they do have a lot of sugar in them. I believe that fruity flavor, that sweetness. Maybe not a lot. It's not like a fruit, but yeah. So okay, positive review, although less positive than I was expecting. I was expecting something a little different, but again, like I said, it could just be this cultivar that I have. This variant is not exactly the purest of them, but I will grow them again in the future. I actually ordered from whitehotpeppers.com, and they sent me seeds for the MOA Scotch Bonnet. That's the Ministry of Agriculture seeds. So hopefully those will grow pure, and I'll have something a little bit different for you. So these are just regular old everyday labeled Scotch Bonnets. Who knows what they could have mixed with, although they grow so differently from a habanero, I can't see them being the same at all. But yeah, positive review. If you're a chili head, these are like a snackable pod that you can work with. If you like habanero, but they're just a little bit too much, because they're hot. Even if they're on the low end of the super hots, they are up there. This particular one, not so bad. But okay, I've got a few more out there I'm waiting to turn ripe, and I'll be back with a couple more videos this year. I'm running low on varieties this year, so my videos after that might actually be me making things. I don't know. I might show the secrets of making pepper jelly. Of course, it's not a big secret. I looked up videos online, and that's how I learned how to do it. So, anywho, I'll be back with something. It'll be entertaining, hopefully. If you can stare at me while I talk about these, you can stare at me while I talk about anything. Well, I hope everyone is staying cool out there. It is still quite a warm summer, and there's still plenty of it left. So enjoy your day, enjoy your week, and I wish you all the best.